within the Emmitsburg community, we would appreciate that. I mean, that's always something I push for. Granted, I know you have your relationships closer to New Windsor, and I understand that, but if this is possible, that'll be your leeway word. If it's possible, we would appreciate you considering that investment in the community.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to use hay that we grow ourselves.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right, that's a price point thing, understood. The best practices piece, if we
Yes.
could look into that
I will,
and
but-
provide direction, that would be great. And if the commission could be made aware of what moves forward.
I'll give you copies of what I have.
Cool.
You
Okay.
know that I'd need them tonight, but I do
Sure,
have
sure,
them, and
sure,
I will
right.
get them on your desk.
Actually, I have about 15 copies out in my truck
Okay.
with my card. So if I'll be out, if you don't mind, I'd like to go out there and get that and bring them back.
Sure. Let's close this out on our end, though. Any further questions, any further concerns? Okay, so, direction, all right, so is there a motion to direct staff to direct the vendor, or not the vendor, what would,
Contractor.
contractor, thank you, okay. Is there a motion to direct staff to direct the contractor to cease
May 5th.
removal operations 5 May?
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion for that?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to direct staff to contact or to direct the contractor to cease removal May 5th.
Very good. Okay, is there a second for
I'll
the
second
motion?
that motion.
Very good. The motion's been made by Commissioner Buckman. It's been seconded by Commissioner Blanchard. Is there any further discussion from the board? Okay. I'll step aside and I'm sort of speaking to the community. So where we are, our best intent is to get the crust going, to stop the smell, to get the hay cap on it. We're going to see where that leads us. We're going to look at this. The feedback we get from the community, please feel free to also email commissioners. So we're in the loop. We're going to ask town staff, please, to share if they have comments related to odor, if that were directly shared with us, so we can make sure that we are conscientiously monitoring this. So all commissioners are tied into this. The next step forward, I really dislike the expression wait and see, because I don't think that's a practical piece. But I think we're in a position where once we do have the hay in place, we will learn if that works or not. And from that point, we'll have to move forward once we see how the hay does. I will admit, and I appreciate your candid information, and Mr. Davis, yours as well. I'm concerned. I think the board is also very concerned. I think we've expressed that. And again, Mr. Lindsay, like I said before, it wasn't our intent to be a bad neighbor and to the town to be bad leadership. And that's certainly not what our intent is. And with those things in mind, I think I'll call it to vote. So all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion carries 3-0 with Commissioner Sweeney and Ritz absent. Okay, so we'll move forward to our next agenda item. And thank you, sir. If you want to bring those items, I'll just say, just bring it to staff and they'll make sure that we get it and we're squared away that way. Okay? All right.
Where are we?
We have one more individual signed up for public comment. Mr. Walker? Very good. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So with that in mind, we turn to our administrative business items.
Yeah.
I think we are,
Would be your annual planning commission
Correct.
report, and that
Our-
would be Miss Sipperly.
report, Ms. Sipperly? Yes. Okay.
Thank you guys for coming.
Sure.
Every year, the Planning Commission is required to submit a annual report showing what activity has taken place in town in terms of, mainly in terms of residential permits issued. Emmitsburg, because of its population being under 5,000, we get to do the short form. And you have that in your packet. We had no new residential permits issued this year. And we are not required to do a 5-year report. That has to do with when your last comprehensive plan was done. Ours was just done in 2015. Things like, have all the members of the Planning Commission and Board of Appeals completed the educational training course required? And the answer to that is yes, except for the 2 recently appointed alternates to the Board of Appeals. I need to get in touch with them, and I think Mr. Joy actually completed it when he was on the Planning Commission, but anyway, that's the short form report, and we always update on the back of this page is the information about our 2016 and current Planning Commission members, Town Board and Board of Appeals members, and staff, the mayor, town manager, and we just submit this so they can update all their records. And this doesn't have to be approved by the town board. It just, the law just says it has to be filed with the town board. So you just basically have to accept it once you have.
When she returns.
Once we have a quorum
Great.
again.
Okay, yes. Let me
We're lost.
address the quorum issue. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
We will recess for 1 minute.
All right, no problem.
We have to
Yeah, you can't vote with her own.